What's up, guys? This is Bergie McFurby here, and I'm bringing you a dual commentary with my real-life friend, Evan, and his gamer tag is the Vader. You might see him in some of my Let's Plays, but yeah, I'll let him take over for a little bit, and then we'll start kind of going on about what this commentary is about.
Well, thank you for having me here, by the way, even though this was not a lot of setup, but we're going to be talking about today the success of choice-based games and episodic content, in particular games such as The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead. Now, they've been having a lot of success lately, especially with The Walking Dead. That was their first game that they made for episodic, really. And then they released The Wolf Among Us and then The Walking Dead Season 2, which just wrapped. First, I'd like to basically say our experiences in the game. I have played all of The Wolf Among Us, which I feel like was a good thing. Just a quickie kind of review of it. Wolf Among Us was great. And I've also played all of The Walking Dead. That's all of The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2, and that includes 400 Days. And, well, what have you played, Garrett?
I've played The Walking Dead Season 1, and I played the Season 1 of, The Wolf Among Us, and I like The Walking Dead better because it just kind of grabbed me as in the story-wise, but I felt like I was more attached in The Walking Dead, but both games had really, really great stories to them, and they're probably one of the best role-playing games I've ever played.
Yeah, I feel like my opinion of the genre as a whole, I mean, it definitely grips you, and TellTale is definitely the master of it, of episodic content and choice-based games, because they make you really feel like you have a choice, even though you might not have a choice. In the end, it might still have the similar ending to the end of a season or whatever, but at the same time, it makes you feel like you do have a choice, and it makes you build these relationships with these characters.
Especially the ending of Season 1 of The Walking Dead. Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely
sure. And
sad.
you haven't played The Walking Dead Season 2, but all across that, like the last probably 2 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 2, episodes 4 and 5, those were definitely sad, because a lot of stuff happens, a lot of sad stuff happens, and the way that these games, they hook you is because you have to pay money to play each episode, and they usually end on huge cliffhangers, which makes you want to play the next episode, and then they'll put out a trailer, and then, like, usually so far what it's been is, like, they'll put out a trailer, and then the week after, that's when they release the episode. But as a genre as a whole, I like it because they make you really, really feel attached to the characters.
Yeah.
In The Walking Dead, for sure, The Wolf Among Us, The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead, they're two different breeds of games. One's like a survival game and makes you really attached to the characters, while the other one is The Wolf Among Us is a very
It's more of a like an inspection game.
Yep.
Kind of like you have to go through all these objectives to see who killed that one person. And it's not really, you don't really get attached to the characters as bad as The Walking Dead.
In The Wolf Among Us, what really happens is you just want to find out who did what. Like it's a very investigative game, while as The Walking Dead is a very, very attachment game. You build friends, you build allies, and then they're taken away from you, and then they might come back, and it's very, very emotionally, like, heart-tearing, and it jerks you around a lot, and sometimes it feels like you get punched in the stomach, and you have to get back up, and you have to keep fighting, and you really do care about those characters. Not that you don't care about the characters in The Wolf Among Us, but they're two different breeds of the same type of game, for sure.
Yeah. Well, on to the next point.
And the next point is, well, what overall do you think about The Walking Dead?
The Walking Dead, I feel, can go on for a long time, and it can be probably one of the best selling role-playing games and out of the Xbox and PC history. I think some parts it can improve on, but for the overall, I think I would I would just I would probably rate it like a 9 out of 10. Some parts it can improve on, but just the fact that the story can grip you, how Telltale can make the story engage you in that story, and it's really really cool how they can do that.
Yeah, and in The Walking Dead season 1, they make you have a lot of choices, and like there are choices that you'll be hit with in the beginning, and then they won't, like, the repercussions of it won't hit you till very very later in the game. And it's a lot, I hate to be like true about it, but there's a lot of illusion of choice. You bond with characters, and those certain bonds, they do affect the gameplay, but there's a lot of illusion of choice. But in The Walking Dead season 2, with not going into spoilers, there's something you can do in like the final episode, and it's not an illusion of choice. There are, like, if I remember right, there are, spoiler alert if this is even a spoiler, but there are 4 to 5 different endings for The Walking Dead season 2, and I've played through all of them but one, and the one I haven't played, other than that, they're emotionally gripping and makes you feel about the characters, and that's why I feel like it's such a successful game. I mean, it was voted Game of the Year for 2012, and it was really really brilliant game. The Walking Dead season 1 was voted for 2012,
yes, which it should be,
and it's amazing game. But now The Wolf Among Us, I feel like it's a different breed. It's a lot more investigative. They definitely have a lot of story for it. That it's definitely a lot more character driven. It's less character driven than The Walking Dead, but it's a lot of investigating, looking at clues, and there is choice in the game. But again, it's like the first season. There's a lot more illusion of choice than anything.
Well, is there any more points?
Yeah, the future of the genre, it looks pretty bright. I mean, I don't think it's going to wear out anytime soon. I mean, they announced that they're going to have 2 more series, which Telltale is making a Game of Thrones series, and they're also making the Tales of Borderlands, which I believe
I never got into Borderlands, really.
I think it's its own story, but it kind of ties in with that, and I don't know about Game of Thrones, but I don't know if I'll play Borderlands, because if it has the similar story, I didn't really like Borderlands, and then Game of Thrones, it might be interesting. But I believe they're going to start putting out, don't quote me on it, but I remember reading somewhere that they're going to be putting out content for Borderlands this fall, I believe, or something like that. And then they also announced in August that there would be a Walking Dead Season 3, which is going to be fantastic, and I'm going to play that game a lot. It's probably going to make me cry, as they are famously do.
Especially PewDiePie. He always cries.
I mean, call me a stone-hearted mother trucker, but I really don't cry. I got teary-eyed, and it's sad, and it makes me like get a punch to the stomach and a knife in the heart, but it's very, very sad games. And then The Wolf Among Us, people are speculating if there's going to be a Season 2, and a lot of people say there isn't, because the Wolf Among Us game is set as a prequel to the comics that they're based off of. So they probably won't be able to cram a whole nother season in before the comic timeline. So basically we're going to have to look forward to is The Walking Dead Season 3, the Game of Thrones series, and the Tales of Borderlands series, and maybe The Wolf Among Us Season 2, if that's even a possibility. And I believe that's everything I have written down.
Well, yeah, so that'll wrap up this commentary. It's kind of a different type of commentary on my channel, but hopefully there'll be more to come in the future. But I hope you liked it, so I'll see you in the next commentary.